Hey guys, I am Michi. You can follow me on IG at MadAboutMichi, and I'm back with another video. So today I am going to be showing you guys how to customize a wig unit using a sewing machine. So let's get started. Okay, so one of the key items to making the perfect custom wig is the type of wig cap you use. And these are the mesh dome caps for custom wigs. They are by Posh Collection. They come in small, medium, and large. And the small is for a 20 to 21 inch circumference. The medium is a 21 to 22 inch circumference. And the large is a 22 to 23 inch circumference. So you want to make sure you are using the exact same size wig cap as the measurement on your head or whoever you're making the wig unit for. And the great thing about the mesh wig caps from Posh Collection is that they actually come with the wig combs that you are going to need for your wig unit. So when you open it up, you're going to have your medium wig cap, and then you are also going to have your 3 wig combs. And so as you guys know, I only use my products when I'm doing my wig units, okay? So you can purchase these caps at iloveposhcollection.com along with any other products, bundles, closures, or any items that you see me using in this video. Okay, so when you are placing your mesh dome cap on top of your canvas head, you want to actually place it on as if you are placing it on a client. So pretty much the forehead would probably start about right here. So that's where I'm lining my cap. So you're gonna have extra mesh cap material in the back. You actually want that here because when we start stitching our tracks onto the cap, this is gonna shrink down and it's gonna be exactly the size as you need. So again, I am using a medium wig cap, which measures at a 21 to 22 inch, and you can see I am using a 22 inch canvas head as well. So this is what you want it to look like when you actually place it on the canvas head. And then you could just place a couple of T-pins in it to hold it in place, and you can begin applying your closure. So the closure I'm going to be using today, of course, is from Posh Collection, which you can purchase at iloveposhcollection.com. It is a 7x7 straight closure. So the reason why I'm using a 7x7 closure today is because I actually love how flat it keeps the top of your wig cap. So I'm going to show you guys how to use a bigger closure when you are making your custom units. Okay, so when you are placing your closure on your dome cap, you want to make sure you go approximately about an inch below the cap. And the reason why you want to do that is because when you put it on your head, you want to make sure you have extra lace so it can glue to your forehead, because that's the whole point of a closure. It's supposed to glue to your forehead and not to your hair. So if you don't take it further enough down, then you're going to have an issue. It's going to be too small and it's not going to stretch past your actual forehead. Sometimes if you're unsure, you can go a little bit further than an inch. I just wouldn't go shorter than an inch. Mine is probably about 1.5 inches, which I feel very comfortable having it there versus less than 1 inch. This is a huge issue when wigs are sometimes too small or they're pulling backwards. That's because they did not stitch their closure further enough to the front. Okay, so now once you do your closure placement, we are going to pre-attach the closure to the sides using thread. And the reason why I say pre-attach is because once we get it on and we get to stitching on the sewing machine, we're gonna actually make sure it's intact by using the sewing machine to stitch it down even further. You wanna make sure that you have 2 needles because you're gonna stitch from one side to the other. What you don't want to do is stitch on one side and go all the way around to the other side because it's going to cause your closure to be lopsided. What you want to do is stitch a few stitches on one side, stitch a few on the other side, and just keep stitching until you meet up in the back. You want to be sure to put tension on that closure so it is completely flat and doesn't have any bubbles in it. Okay guys, so this is what your closure is going to look like when you pre-attach it. And again, we're gonna go back on top of it with the sewing machine to reinforce it. But this is what you want. Okay guys, so now we're going to outline the wig cap. And what I like to use is, you can either use like a metallic Sharpie, but what I just discovered is this chalk writer. So I actually like how this works better. So what you want to stay away from is actual chalk, because the chalk will put the lines on there good, but by the time you get to the actual sewing machine, the chalk lines will probably dissolve and you won't be able to follow your lines. So a Sharpie or a chalk writer works perfectly. And what I'm gonna actually do is just show you guys my outline and how I like to actually stitch my tracks onto my wig cap. Okay, so the first line I like to draw is usually where around the crease of the eye is going to be. And I'm just gonna take this line all the way around, because when I am stitching my tracks, I like the top of the tracks, like the last few tracks, to go in the same direction as the closure so they can meet up nice and seamlessly. So this is my first line. So then I'm just gonna draw a few lines above that to represent where I want my tracks to lay. It doesn't have to be perfect. You just want to make sure you're able to see it so you don't get confused once you are on the sewing machine. You want your final stitch or track to lay right up against that closure. You don't want any space. So again, this is around where the crease of the eye is. And then what I like to do below is I love for my tracks to go at a curve. What this allows is for the hair to actually fall into the face. If you put too many lines going straight down, your weave is going to only fall to the sides, but you want to get that nice flow going towards the face. So I always like to curve my tracks. And what I'm doing is starting right above the band. You can stitch on the band if you want to, but it's not necessary to put a track all the way back here on the band. So I like to put my first track right above the band and curve it around. And as you can see, once I get to the sides, that's when I'm going into my band, because I don't want my band to be exposed on the side. It's fine in the back, but I don't want it to be exposed on the side. And keeping the band free in the back helps you pull the wig unit down on your head. It gives you a good grip. And I'm going to be using 3 bundles of the Malaysian mink here. So I'm gonna put my lines pretty close together because I want to assure that I can get all those bundles on this unit. And once you start stitching, it's okay if you want to stitch an extra track that's not on the line. This is simply to give you a guide so you do not get lost when you're on the sewing machine. But you don't have to stay exactly on these lines. You can stitch in between them if you like. And my advice is not to try to make a wig unit without doing an outline because you will get lost. So here you have a completed outline. And again, these lines represent the direction that I want my tracks to go in when I start stitching them on the sewing machine.
Be sure to check out part 2 of this custom wig series.